Ready to make fashion fireworks? Right now at Old Navy, get up to 60% off the entire store during Old Navy's Red, White, and New sale. Save big with items for $2, $4, $6, and $8, including women's tanks for just $2. And up to 60% off summer essentials like flip-flops, tank tops, swimwear, and shorts. Get more bang for your buck with up to 60% off your favorite all-American styles right now at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Select styles only. Entire store offer valid 6/28 to 7/5. Excludes clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today-only deals, two-day-only deals.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is No BS Hiring Advice Radio. It's a time where I'd like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about hiring, staffing, recruiting, some element of the process of bringing better people and more people on board. I do it because, frankly, I find that many institutions have practices and policies that run counter to what they say they want to do, which is hire exceptional people. And it's not that I want to point out that in many ways you're being incongruent with your professed intention, but the fact of the matter is your behavior says that. So I do this show every week. Generally, it's on Wednesdays at midday to talk with you about ways that you can improve your operation. Because to me, hiring doesn't have to be hard, difficult, painful, or take anywhere near as long as it does. Nor should it in this kind of a market, which is really the theme for this show. Now, No BS Hiring Advice is brought to you by two sponsors. The first one is Audible. And if you go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter and sign up for a free trial of Audible, you'll be able to download a free audiobook as part of that trial. So again, use audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. My second sponsor is consultingassignments.com, which is a site that you can find and fill consulting assignments with, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm, and contract hire opportunities anywhere in the world for free. You can post a job or a resume for free, search jobs or resumes for free. The only thing the site charges for is if you're going to want to feature a job or a resume, it is $10 for 30 days. And the price, believe it or not, will go down if you're going to feature more than one position over the course of the year. So again, consultingassignments.com. So I'm back. I took a month off from doing this show. I just got back into the swing of things with No BS Job Search Advice Radio and No BS Job Search Advice, or hang out with Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, which is the video of that. And now it's time to get back to this show. So this is my first one of the year. So as I've done with my other shows, Job Search Radio, No BS Job Search Advice Radio, and now this one, I want to give you a sense of the job market and how it kind of ties into your particular needs. Now, last Friday, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released its jobs report. And if you didn't see my article on LinkedIn, you really should. So if you go to my profile, linkedin.com/in/thebiggamehunter, and look for the December 2014 U.S. jobs report, there's an article that I wrote for LinkedIn that I'm going to give you the executive summary for now. So the short version is jobs increased by 252,000. The unemployment rate went down by 5.6%. Labor force participation declined. As a matter of fact, there are more people who left the labor market than new jobs created. I believe the number was 273,000 people left the labor market and 252,000 new jobs created. Wages went down yet again. So right now there are almost 93 million people in the United States not in the workforce. Now, some of these are retirees, and the definition of someone who's in the workforce, according to the U.S. government, is someone between the ages of 16 years of age and up. So obviously at 16, there are a lot of students that don't participate, but still these are extraordinary numbers for where the U.S. is right now, given the fact that there's a recovery. Now, I also want to point out there are a lot of people underemployed. As a matter of fact, if you take that headline rate, which is the U3 rate, and add all the people who are want to work full-time but are working part-time because they can't find anything full-time, well, the number actually doubles to 11.2%. So we're living in extraordinary times. Yet, when all is said and done, and I'm going to go back to one more detail of the report a little bit later. When all is said and done, if you're trying to hire white-collar talent, accountants, technologists, engineers, you're probably running into the fact that there are labor shortages, that firms are finding it exceedingly difficult to find the talent that they need. Now, in most of these fields, it's for two basic reasons. One are demographics, or is demographics, and that is the number of people who were allowed to enter the workforce between the years of 2008 and through 2014 is far less than the number, than the kinds of numbers that you need, particularly at staff levels. Now, there are plenty of baby boomers out there that are available, but somehow or other, I don't think you want to hire them for 3 to 4 year jobs, right? So the result is, for lower level positions, there's a complete dearth of talent. And when you also consider that a lot of people wiped out during this recession and never relaunched their careers, it's no wonder that there are a lot of people who would normally fit in jobs at the age of 40 and under are very difficult to find, particularly at a staff level. Now, managers, well, you can sometimes slip a boomer in there. But for that demographic at the age of 40 and under, it's been, particularly at staff levels, it's exceedingly hard to find people. The other reason for all of this, frankly, stems from the fact that so many professions are extraordinarily segmented now. You don't hire accountants now. You hire people with a certain type of accounting background. You don't hire IT people. There are, 100 different classifications of IT jobs if you want to break them down, and never the twain will meet. So the result winds up being that you're not dealing with all these IT people. There are more people in IT now than were at the time before the recession. But again, jobs have been segmented. So it's very hard to find staff level people. What does this translate into for you? Number one, if you think you can make offers now during what are fairly good times again, I'm going to point out to you that people are getting multiple job offers, and they will not tolerate being told take it or leave it like you've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. Your management talent has to go out there and do a little bit more catering. Plus, and this is the reason for the title of this show, pick up the pace of hiring. Now, I've danced around this a variety of different times about hiring managers more often than not are spending weeks evaluating, assessing, making sure that this person's hair is proper, and that they can say boo in 4 different languages. When in point of fact, if you haven't already noticed, you're losing some of your people in the course of your job searches because others are moving more quickly. In addition, if you're still working with wage structures that reflect the market in 2009, if you're not losing people now, you're going to be losing them very shortly because some firms in your market area hiring comparable talent are going to kick up the numbers. Now, I want to pose a different scenario, and that is, let's say hypothetically, no one does that. No one increases salaries, even though I know someone will, because that's human nature. But let's say all 5 offers are identical. Why do they pick your firm? Because you're nice people. Are you saying that the other folks are nice people too? Of course they are. Matter of fact, some of your former employees worked there and they were nice when they worked for you. I'm sure they're nice when they work for the other firm. Your work is better than the other firm? Most of the time that isn't the case. It's comparable work. It may not be identical, but it's pretty similar. So why do they choose your firm? Now, without money being a variable, That's going to be a tough question for people to answer, especially since a lot of you folks are out of practice in selling opportunities. I want to be clear. Selling does not mean lying. I don't believe in that. But the fact of the matter is, you guys are going to do a far better job of selling the market while it is now, candidate driven, and while people are out there actively recruiting for you. Now, I'll tell you point blank, my bank account suffered for a couple of years during this recession. And I know every recruiter who's been in the field for a long time, if they're being honest, would say the same thing. I can assure you, no one has been knocked down doors during 2009, 2010, 2011, and we've all gradually improved since then. And thus, firms are coming to us very rarely. I know they're coming to me regularly in looking for help. I give time to firms that are going to respect my time, and they're going to respect the people I represent's time, because I'm out there recruiting people who aren't actively looking for work. I've got ads online. You can find them all over the place, but most of what I receive from that is spam. I use that as a way of just of ensuring that I don't miss anyone who's actively looking. But, my first hour of the day is hitting the delete button 99.5% of the time out of 100. So I'm sure the same is true of you too. So I'm out there aggressively recruiting for people, and they don't want to be treated in a discourteous way. I don't want them to be treated in a discourteous way. They don't want to wait months for you to make up your mind. That's an insult to them in this kind of market. Someone else is going to hire them, because once they interview with you, someone else is going to find them and encourage them to interview with another firm. They're not going to go back to their place because they've had their beaks wetted, to use an old phrase from the Godfather movie, to reflect, in the original Godfather movie, the Don that Don Corleone worked for, or Vito Corleone worked for, because he wasn't a Don then. The Don that he worked for would go into storefronts in Little Italy and talk about making sure he got his beak wet, which meant that he wanted his piece of the sales in every business in Little Italy. Well, these folks want to have their beak wet. They're not going to change jobs for a lateral. They're not going to change jobs for $2,000. They're not going to want to change jobs unless you talk with them about career opportunities, unless you increase compensation, unless you do things to promote your brand online to make it a desirable brand for people to be associated with. Because again, the reality is, and I know you don't want to hear this, I know you want to believe that everyone joins you and is going to stay there for the rest of their lives. We both know that's not true. We both know that either they're going to get frustrated and leave, or, as happened in 2008 and beyond, so many of your organizations, in order to survive, cut a lot of very talented people. They didn't cut dead wood, they cut a lot of talent, and that'll happen again. So these people need to be indemnified against those kind of situations by making sure their skills are being pursued aggressively. So they want to make sure they're doing interesting work. You guys need to sell that factor to them. Bring back training for your own people, and when you hire, talk about the training programs that you have and the way they're compensated. I'm not talking about nominal reimbursements if only they, and if they need to get a grade of. You need to talk training, particularly if you're in hard sciences areas like engineering and IT. You need to be prepared to pay for master's programs for people in accounting, for example. When all is said and done, people are getting multiple offers. They don't know why they should join your firm. You think you've got a great reputation? Hey, look, Goldman Sachs lays off a certain number of people every year. Every firm I know, including Apple, including Google, including Microsoft, loses people along the way, and you're no different. So again, pick up the pace of your recruiting. Make it faster. I'm not saying take shortcuts, but make it faster. I hope you found this show helpful. I also want to say to you that If you'd like recruiting support, I'd be very happy to help you. Reach out to me. My email address is jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Send me an email. Let me know how to contact you. Point me to the right person, and let me help you with recruiting. I also have a lot of content to help you with recruiting at my website. Again, that's thebiggamehunter.us. Go exploring there. There's information that will help you do a more effective job with your staffing. So, excuse me, my headphones shifted. I'll be back next week with more No BS hiring advice. I hope you enjoyed this show. This is Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.
You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber Policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Ready to make fashion fireworks? Right now at Old Navy, get up to 60% off the entire store during Old Navy's Red, White, and New sale. Save big with items for $2, $4, $6, and $8, including women's tanks for just $2. And up to 60% off summer essentials like flip-flops, tank tops, swimwear, and shorts. Get more bang for your buck with up to 60% off your favorite all-American styles right now at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Select styles only. Entire store offer valid 6/28 to 7/5. Excludes clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today-only deals, 2-day-only deals.